What's up, guys? So, I'm going to talk a little bit about what happened with the truck race last night, but I really want to expand into a bigger picture, which is usually what I try to do. I think most people focus on a specific aspect of whatever they're talking about. Let's say a guy involved in a wreck or causing a wreck, or NASCAR and or a racetrack issues, that kind of stuff. Like, I think people tend to look at things in a vacuum. And I think that's the wrong way to look at things. Just my opinion. I think everything is connected. And if you don't take a step back and take a look at everything, you're going to miss the big picture, right? So, obviously, last night we saw Corey Heim do something incredibly stupid and boneheaded. He should be suspended. Um, but we also saw Carson Hocevar do something stupid that he is known for doing. This isn't a one time incident. And, he wrecked Corey Heim earlier in the race by being over aggressive. Now, he admitted after the race that, it was on him. He took 100% responsibility. And I see a lot of people giving him credit. They're tripping over themselves, praising him. And I'm not going to do that. Like, to me, you're not going to get credit for admitting to something that everyone saw. I mean, what else is he going to do? Just lie and say it's not on him? Of course it's on him. We all saw what happened. So it's nice that he admitted to it, but I'm not going to start handing out fucking medals, right? Um I don't like him. I He rubs me the wrong way. He reminds me a lot of Ross Chastain. I will give Ross Chastain credit. He's toned it back. He's been on his, best behavior, and I have to give him credit for that. So I don't want people to say, "Well, look, he's not," whatever. Ever since, I guess, his owner had a talking to him, whatever, he's dialed it back, and he's been on his best behavior. Credit to him for that. But Carson Hocevar reminds me a lot of him, over aggressive, making a lot of stupid, boneheaded moves. And I know there are people out there that like aggressive drivers. I don't mind somebody who's aggressive, but there is a line you don't cross. And there's a difference between somebody who's really aggressive but doesn't go over the line. This guy goes over the line way too often. Again, Corey Heim is the biggest tool of the night. He deserves to be suspended. I'm not taking sides here. What I am doing is pointing out that you have to look at, you can't take one thing and just look at it as if it's in a vacuum where there's nothing else connected. Everything is connected. And what you're looking at here is a snapshot of Phoenix, right? I'm going to talk about that in a second. But speaking of Corey Heim, Carson Hocevar, and the Truck Series, I've told you guys the Truck Series is a shit show. It's the worst of the NASCAR series. I don't really count ARCA. ARCA's another shit show, but um, the Truck Series used to be a good series, and I've said this before, and this is a great time to point this out. Where are all the veterans? They're gone. There's only a handful of veterans left. And for like every veteran, there's like five or six of these guys. They're all barely out of diapers, and they're being given these huge opportunities. Let me tell you, a truck ride used to be a big deal. Now they're just handing them out to these kids. These are kids. They're immature and they race that way. They all race as if they are on iRacing. The same type of moves that you see on iRacing, you are now watching in real life. It didn't just start now. This has been going on for years. And I've brought this up in the past. The lack of veterans. There's no one in the garage to straighten out these kids, to set them straight, let them know what they did wrong and what's going to be acceptable and what isn't. It's a free for all. So you get these guys like Carson Hocevar. Remember Ty Gibbs taking out Brandon Jones for a win? Nothing happened to him. Again, everything's connected. What have we been watching in Xfinity, in Cup? Ross Chastain. How many incidents was he involved in? Just being a bonehead. Denny Hamlin. How many times has he had a run in with another driver, whether it was their fault or his? A couple years ago, uh, remember Chase Elliott? What he did to Kevin Harvick at Bristol? He stayed out on the track for one purpose, to just ruin the race for another driver that he was mad at over a racing incident. What did NASCAR do about it? Jack shit. They didn't do anything about it. They love the drama. They love to use these. And I guarantee you, what happened with Hocevar here, Corey Heim, all this drama, NASCAR is going to package it. They will be playing this again next year to promote their races, because that's what they do. And you wonder why these young kids coming up, being given these big opportunities, why do they act the way they do? Because this is what they're watching. And when they see someone like Chase Elliott get away with what he's doing, they think, hey, it doesn't matter that I ruined the race for somebody, that it's a championship race with big implications. I'm going to go out there and wreck somebody because I'm pissed off. And I don't care what this does to the race, to the show, to the playoffs, to the championship. I don't care. Because I've already seen that this is acceptable. How do I know this is acceptable? Because NASCAR doesn't do anything about it. They didn't do shit to Chase Elliott. And by the way, Kevin Harvick, this is why I've always told you guys, he's all bark, no bite. What did he do about it? Nothing. Nothing. He's a veteran, and he's one of these guys always pretended to be a tough guy. What did he do when Chase Elliott ruined his chance to win at Bristol and made a mockery of the race? NASCAR did nothing about it, and he didn't do anything about it. And this has been happening for many years now. Like, NASCAR in general, all three series, including Cup, has become younger and younger and younger. We used to have a time when there were veterans in their 40s racing, and guys that had respect in the garage. There is nobody, there's no leadership among drivers, among owners, nothing. The owners don't do anything to these drivers either. They put up with it. It's like grandparents babysitting. They're not going to discipline these kids. And that's why you have NASCAR devolving into the shit show that it is. There's a lack of veteran leadership. There's no one in the garage to really police. These guys aren't policing themselves. There's too many of these young drivers, barely out of diapers, who still probably spend a lot of time on iRacing, and they bring that online racing mentality to real life. They don't respect the crews that work on these cars. There's no penalty, no price to pay. Look at this picture on the screen. This is Phoenix. Phoenix is a shitty fucking race every time. And why do they still allow this shit? Why don't they put a double line right here? Don't allow people to go below the line. Stop letting people cut through the dog leg. This is a shit show. This isn't exciting. This might have been exciting the first year. It gets old quick, just like every other gimmick. I'm not saying this would make the racing better, but could we try it? It couldn't hurt. This is embarrassing. I don't know what else to say. And a lot of people, and I get it. They're focused on the playoff system. They're complaining. They want the old point system back. I have news for you guys. It's never coming back. You're wasting your time. I'd rather focus on trying to send a message to NASCAR that we're not happy with the playoff system the way it is. It can be fixed. It can be better. The biggest thing they need to do is stop with the one race finale among four drivers. This is going to lead to more and more of this kind of shit show. You really, and the worst part of it is NASCAR is oblivious to what fans are saying. They want this kind of drama. It's fabricated. They don't care that it's becoming less of a sport and more of a spectacle. They're bragging about how amazing the playoff system is as it is now. They've made it worse through the years. I do like having a playoff system. I don't like the way it's implemented now. And I've said this before, for the millionth time, I'm going to say it. They added too many drivers to the playoffs. 16 drivers. I'm not just talking about one series or whatever. I'm just saying, you look at the Cup Series, 16 fucking drivers. You almost have half the field making it. That in and of itself is a joke. It used to be prestigious. You only had 10 guys making it, and it was a big deal if you made it. It was a big deal for the drivers, the teams, the owners, and for sponsors. Now you watered it down. It's 16 fucking drivers. Bring it back to 10. That's number one. Number two, stop with the final one race deciding everything. Take the first 6 races and eliminate the bottom 6 drivers. After 6 races, now you're left with the top 4 drivers who are still in it, and you take the final 4 races of the playoffs combined. Points, based on points, combined. And you get your champion amongst the final 4. This way, you're not in a situation where that final race is it's a free for all. Then it matters that let's say Corey Heim or Hocevar. because they have 4 races combined, he's in a good position. Even though he's running in the back in the final race, he doesn't need to win. It's not a fucking desperation for the championship. If he did well in the previous couple of races, he just needs to do well enough. Then he doesn't, maybe, because he's a fucking bonehead, but maybe he doesn't pull a move like he did where he took out Corey Heim. Maybe Corey Heim isn't in a position to say, what I do doesn't matter. I'm just going to wreck myself just to get back at this guy and ruin the race for everybody. Maybe. I'm not telling you this would fix everything, but it would be better. And it's more fair. And it gives you different racetracks that, in combination, even if you have a bad race, you're still in it. So you'd get 10 drivers, 10 races. After 6 races, the bottom 6 eliminated. Then the final 4 races combined gives you a champion, and that would be far better than what we're watching now. And of course, like I said, Phoenix, get rid of this. This is a joke. This is a joke. Into the turn, the dog leg, everybody. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, almost 9 wide. This is embarrassing. Um, I don't know what else to tell you guys, but NASCAR pushing more. I mean, just everything going towards younger and younger drivers. We're losing veterans. Um, the way the playoffs are run at the moment, all of these things are designed for more excitement, more unpredictability, and like everyone calls it, Game 7 moments. Well, when you constantly create them and manufacture them, they're not special anymore. This is embarrassing. And then you have NASCAR officials talking about how proud they are of the playoff system and how amazing everything is. Completely out of touch. Uh, I don't know what else to say. This is why I don't watch the truck series. It's a joke, it's embarrassing. And this is also why I'm happy that uh, Haley Deegan is out of the truck series. Maybe she'll have a better chance to at least run in Xfinity. These guys, none of them. This is insane. So yeah, you wonder why Carson Hocevar and Corey Heim and all these other guys are racing the way they're racing. NASCAR is creating this. When you don't do anything about Chastain, Hamlin, even Kyle Larson, he's made a lot of boneheaded moves on in his time. Um, and like I said, Chase Elliott, the Golden Boy, manipulating the end of a race at Bristol a couple years ago, blocking Harvick, and NASCAR did nothing about it. And you wonder why these kids, as soon as they're out of diapers and they're given the keys to the truck series, and they come in and it's a free for all. Everything's connected. This is what you're witnessing is NASCAR's lack of leadership, no consequences for the garbage that these drivers are pulling, and there you go. Um, those are my thoughts, guys. Uh, I look forward to your comments later.